Jumpstart your weekend because The View is live. Don't ask Steve. Harvey speaks out about his letter to the staff demanding don't talk to me. Why he's not apologizing. And Britzilla? Pippa Middleton's wardrobe rules for her wedding guests. Is she being a high-maintenance bride-to-be? Plus, he's the man some call the mastermind behind Trump's presidency and the reason Comey was fired. Roger Stone is live on The View. The party starts now with Joy, Paula Ferris, Sarah Haynes, and Jedediah Vila. And it's Guy Day Friday with The Daily Show's Hassan Minaj. Now, let's get things started.
And welcome to The View. All right.
You look great, by the way.
You like my brooch?
I like your brooch.
You're
glistening.
Yes.
It's like, oof, I feel inspired. It's Guy Day Friday.
So joining us for Guy Day Friday, please welcome The Daily Show's Hassan Minaj. Now, for those of you who don't know him, you know, just in case you don't know him, he not only works at Comedy Central, but also was the comedian du jour at the Correspondents' Dinner this year.
It killed it.
Really cool. That was super fun.
And, you know, I mean, in 36 years of that event, this is the first time the actual president of the United States did not show up. Why?
Yeah, the last time Reagan didn't show up, but he was recovering from a gunshot wound. But,
That was a good excuse.
Very similar.
But Trump was like, I can't take a joke, so my ego is wounded, so I can't show up.
But there was some rumors that Ben Carson was going to show up.
He was on, so there was the guest list, and we had it, and I was like, oh my God, Ben Carson is here.
Yeah.
So I was up there with a bunch of the writers that worked on it with me, and I was like, you need to scour the room right now. We need to find Ben Carson. Because you know, Lord Voldemort had put out the memo. None of the Death Eaters were allowed to show up. This is a real thing. The Death Eaters weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
So the entire administration wasn't there. But I was like, Ben Carson, where, how? Scour the room. Now, there's 2,600 people in the room. So they're like, how are we going to find Ben Carson? I'm like, look, there's only 3 black people here. So start searching.
True?
Yeah. What?
When is the White House Correspondents' Dinner? Come on, it's sure to
It
live.
was, I was like, Van Jones is there.
Don
cool.
Lemon.
Don Lemon.
Yep.
Third random guy. That's not Ben Carson. We're done. So I had all this Ben Carson material that had to go, unfortunately, because had he been there, I'd have been like, Ben, did you get lost on the elevator? Are you just stuck?
Yeah.
Oh, you guys don't know. Ben Carson notoriously has been stuck on elevators.
Why? No, stop.
Yes.
Is this a joke?
This is a real thing.
Why is that?
Why does he get stuck on elevators?
It's Ben Carson.
That isn't even a joke.
Yeah,
It's just a fact.
yeah.
Really?
He'd been, I think it was an event in Florida, and then he had gotten stuck on the elevator. So the joke that I was going to do is like, oh, maybe Ben Carson has just been stuck in the Hilton elevator this whole time.
Yeah.
And he just stumbled in the room like, my luggage, and then he just sat down.
Okay, should we do a hot topic? Would you like to hear one?
Yeah,
Okay,
please.
so it turns out that every day there's more material, so we're sorry if we're repetitious on Trump, but, you know, we can't help ourselves. He is the story. And the Trump administration, they still can't get their story straight about who canned FBI Director Comey. Trump's surrogates, you know who they are, like Kellyanne and the rest of them. They seem to be on the same page, that it was the Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein. Watch that. Watch this first.
When you receive a report that is so clear and a recommendation by someone like the Deputy Attorney General, you have no choice but to act.
That's why this was the right decision at the right time.
This is the action that a president takes when he is told by the Deputy Attorney General, who's only been on the job for 14 days, so he took a new assessment, a new look at everything.
Okay, look out, guys, because here comes a bus you're about to get thrown under. Watch.
I was going to fire Comey. My decision. It was not...
You had made the decision before they came in.
I was going to fire Comey. There's no good time to do it, by the way. They
Because in your letter
they
you said
were
I
around.
accepted their recommendation.
Yeah, well, they
so you
also,
had already made the decision.
I was going to fire regardless of recommendation.
So there was really relevant.
He made a recommendation.
So me, Tarzan, you're nothing. Is Donald basically saying, who are you going to believe, me or my surrogates here? What do you think?
It looks like they all went to a meeting and he was supposed to go and he was like doing something else. He didn't show up. It's so strange. And I don't understand why it doesn't concern them, because that's the message that I took away from this. I was glad that Comey was fired because I thought he was bad at his job. But my message was something's happening in this White House where they're not talking to each other. And I don't understand how he allows his team to just go out there and roll something out for then him to get on TV and say something totally
So
different.
why do you think?
Doesn't instill confidence.
Why do you think that he did that?
I think that people in the White House are talking. He just doesn't listen. Like when the ball's in his court, he's like, I'm a big boy. I fired him.
Yeah.
But what's sad is that he got fired via letter. And even on Celebrity Apprentice, he had the audacity to fire Lil Jon to his face. And he didn't even have the same respect for James Comey.
But does he? It's almost like he thinks that he's on a Celebrity Apprentice right now, right?
Well, it's like they make a game plan and say the only way we can make sense of this is let's have a procedure. Let's say this is how it went down, because we've heard before he had wanted to find a reason to do this.
Right.
This is the plan we're going with. I think this is his big kind of flip off to everyone. I don't owe you an explanation. I was always the one that was going to do this. Take it and deal with it. I feel like he always has to get that last word in that this was my decision.
Why would you throw the people who are out there helping you? Why would you do that?
He did that. It's more important for him to know, for all of us to know, that he's in charge and he did it.
It's like Bush when he said,
But he has been defending him,
yeah.
but because everybody's been jumping on them for obviously going with this material, he's now defending them, saying, don't be so hard on them. But the thing in that interview that I want to bring up with Lester Holt is, yes, he was planning to fire James Comey, but this is what he said. When I decided to do it, I said to myself, you know, this Russia thing with Trump and Russia is a made-up story. So if this is his attempt to get Russia to go away, it's just backfiring. My thing is, if nothing truly happened with Russia, if there was no colluding, which so far nothing's been proven, welcome an investigation. Welcome it. Say, come on, bring it on. We've got nothing to hide.
Encourage your people to also put forth anything they're asking for.
People keep saying there's no proof. They're in the middle of investigating it.
Right. And the FBI just asked for more money. But that's what people
and they just
care
ask
about.
for more money.
To me,
right.
people see, when I look at this, I think, do people really care about who said it, who did it? I think they care that Comey's gone because they didn't like him in that job and he messed up when it came to Hillary. And I think they care about an investigation into whether there was collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia. But this turns into a lot of he said, she said. I feel like there's a lot of people sitting at home being like, where's my job? Where's my health care? And this all turns into a bunch of nonsense aside from the actual investigation into Russia.
It's hard to keep up with. Like, honestly, weren't you like in season 1, we all hated Comey about the Hillary stuff, but then now we're like, wait, we wanted him? Wait, but like...
We need a flow chart.
Yeah.
We need names and pictures.
You know how when you're watching a show with your significant other, and they're like, he's the bad guy? I thought he was the good guy. He's like, that was in season 1, babe.
Yeah.
Now he's
Sarah.
the good guy.
To build off what Jed was saying about how people are wanting them to actually attend to important things, he's saying there's a lot of money being wasted on this and there's nothing here, and yet he's starting a voter fraud investigation at the same time. So he keeps doing these smoke and mirrors, while I do think people are really caring about health care, which they teased last week with all this, you know, crazy stuff about pre-existing conditions, and now we're not hearing about it.
Right. You have something to say about Mother's Day?
Oh, that's why you wanted me to talk. We're kicking off Mother's Day early with an audience full of moms and daughters. We invited them to be pampered with help from our sponsor, Carol's Daughter, at our pop-up day spa, The View and Carol's Daughter Beauty Bar. They got to chill and get spoiled with a blissful day of hairstyling, treatments, and even my personal favorite, massages. I do wish I had been there. But in our audience is Carol's Daughter founder, Lisa Price, who's here to help us continue the celebration. Welcome, Lisa.
Thank you. It's so great to be here. Thank you. Thank you. It was such a privilege and an honor to honor moms and to pamper them, because all of us who are mothers, we know how hard we work. We do for everyone else, so someone has to do for you. So I'm celebrating my mom and the memory of my mom through these women. So thank you so much.
Oh, what a great way to honor. And you're going to see more of The View and Carol's Daughter Beauty Bar and a special mother-daughter makeover throughout the show. We'll be right back with more Hot Topics.
We are here at the View Carol's Daughter Beauty Bar, and we're about to give mom Danielle and daughter Jordan some fantastic hair treatments. Are you guys excited? Yes. Jordan is first, and she's going to be getting a wonderful treatment with our almond milk hair mask. It has great ingredients like almond oil, almond extract, shea butter, and it's going to help strengthen her hair without weight. Jordan's mom Danielle is up next. Stay tuned to see how great they're both going to look.
So whether you're an Oscar winner,
The fabulous Anne Hathaway,
a fierce supermodel,
Ashley Graham.
or you're making a big bang,
Bialik.
this is the place where strong women,
We need support.
all parents do, come to be heard
I don't feel that we need to put a category on women because of a number inside of their pants.
and voice their view.
You wrote that you were a late bloomer.
Some of us take our time, and there's nothing wrong with that.
I started at 40. Does that count as a late bloomer?
We are View Strong all day long.
That's right.
It's The View on ABC. Still ahead, DC's most notorious political powerhouse, Roger Stone, on whether he's the reason why Trump's in the White House and Comey's out of the FBI.
These mothers are so loud. There's a bunch of mothers. Let's see, who was the mother? Raise your hand. Camera. Very good. So we're all mothers in this
They're
audience.
excited because they're away from their children.
That's probably it.
A lot of them are with their daughters. Oh, yes, some are with their daughters.
Well, you know, you can boil down the Trump administration's relationship with the media right down to the eye roll that Anderson Cooper gave Kellyanne Conway. She claims, listen to this, she claims it was a sexist move by Anderson. Was it? Watch.
Thanks for the trip down memory lane. I was on your show often last fall saying we were going to win Michigan and how we were going to do it. So that was fun. But here's what happened today. Today, not in a campaign, in the White House, the President of the United States
So
took
that person
decisive
doesn't exist
action.
anymore. Candidate Donald Trump, that's a fictional character we no longer are allowed to refer to. We can now only refer to the Donald Trump who exists today.
So-called eye rolls that we do at this table, does it make the point that it's not sexist, do you think?
That was not sex. I'm sorry, stupidity does not have a gender. Like, you know, like that. What she's saying there, and I remember watching that live, I was thinking, seriously? Like, some people say she's good at her job, and I say a true spin artist doesn't let you know you just spun, and all of a sudden you're in a totally different location, and you don't know how you got there.
Yeah.
That's not Kellyanne Conway.
Well, this is also
amazing, Sarah.
Yeah, it was good.
But this is also the one who's claimed that he was using alternative facts. Remember that?
Yeah.
So when the eyes roll, it's like not again with this lie.
It's not.
That's what that's about.
It's not sexist, but I do feel like women on the left that go on television oftentimes get away with saying, like Hillary Clinton, I remember, accused Bernie Sanders in the debates of being sexist toward her. He wasn't being sexist. He was trying to make his point.
What did he
That's
say?
how he talks.
What did he say?
It was the tone of his voice. It was the way he approached her. And I do think there's something to be said. If Debbie Wasserman Schultz or Nancy Pelosi got on a segment and a male anchor rolled his eyes, I do think there's segments of the population on the left that would say immediately, this is sexist. I think we universally need to say, that's not a word that should be tossed around easily.
Well,
this isn't sexist.
So
that's not. Neither case is it sexist.
I'm making the case that she's a liar all the time.
She is.
But she's a liar.
But
so when she lies all the time, doesn't that deserve an eye roll?
Well, did Hillary deserve an eye roll when she
Hillary
lied?
doesn't lie the way they lie.
Oh, come on. She lied repeatedly.
Oh,
I have to say that I love
She doesn't lie.
Anderson Cooper, though. I think at the end of the day, and I have the utmost of respect for Anderson Cooper, and at the end of the day, he is a journalist, and a journalist has to show interview etiquette. And I think it's different if a pundit were to do that too.
Right.
And Sarah, you mentioned it a long time ago.
But to what extent?
To throw out these terms like sex, it's very easy, and it really diminishes when it truly does happen. So I don't think it was sexist, but there is such a
what
thing
it
as
is a red herring.
interview
It had
etiquette.
nothing to do with why he was rolling his eyes, but she's like, look over there, and this is what I'm going to call it.
You can challenge that.
It's not.
But he looked like he was having a stroke, frankly. I didn't think it was an eye roll. His eyes rolled back in his head.
He was rolling his eyes like when she was like, and you remember we won Michigan. It's like, you're talking about the election?
Yeah.
So I don't think there was any sexism in that. He's like, you're still bringing up the election? I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say this. I would love to look into Anderson Cooper's eyes. So I don't know what this whole complaint is. You seen those baby blues and the jawline that can cut bread? Why are you complaining?
Are you coming out by any chance? Because we would like that.
No, I'm married, and I'm very much in love with my wife. But I mean, Anderson Cooper's Anderson Cooper. Have you seen that silver fox? You can still be honest.
If you rolled your eyes at your wife, what would she do?
She would be livid. Are you kidding? I don't do that. I want to still be married.
I do think the conversation's more powerful when Anderson doesn't roll his eyes. Like, it's okay as I watch on the TV and I'm rolling my eyes at home, but I think you let people... that saying, give someone enough rope and they'll hang themselves. Like, let her do the stupid talking. Don't judge it, because then you're both on the same different level.
Every time you interview the Trump administration, it's like being on that old TV show Boiling Points. They keep talking and they're like, just wait. Because at some point you have to be like, you're insane.
Yeah. All right, well, let me ask you if you think this is insane before we go. Trump has now tweeted about Rosie O'Donnell. We finally agree on something, Rosie, because she said fire Comey back in December. Now he's bringing Rosie. Talk about a backwards eye roll. He's bringing Rosie O'Donnell. I wish Rosie would call in on this. Rosie, you're watching the show? Call us. Because he's now dragging... Thank you. After what he said about that girl, he was vicious to her. At that time, I sat right there. And I witnessed that whole thing.
That happened here.
On The View. She made fun of him, and then he went crazy on her. I mean, she said a few things that really pushed a few buttons on him. His hair, of course. Touchy. And then there was the interest in his adulterous behavior, maybe, and his financials, which I really think pissed him off big time. And so he went after her like a vicious animal. Yeah. And now he's saying, oh, we finally agree on something, Rosie.
Yeah, it's
Call
sad.
us, Rosie. We'll be right back with even more.
Still ahead, Mother's Day off? Why more moms are taking a page from Steve Harvey on Mom's Day and telling their family, just leave me alone.
So, have you heard the story about Steve Harvey? Yeah. Steve Harvey got into trouble recently because he sort of got in trouble. I mean, he's the boss, and he's the EP of his show, so I don't know how much trouble he's going to be in exactly. But he basically sent a letter to the staff that said things like, do not come to my dressing room unless invited. Do not open my dressing room door. My security team will stop everyone from standing in my door who have an intent to see me or speak to me. Do not approach me while I'm in the makeup chair. I mean, this is the letter he wrote. And it got out, and it didn't help him at all, I don't think, because it went against his brand. Because his brand is this open, friendly, right? Yeah. He even has a thing called Ask Steve. Okay, so now...
Don't ask Steve.
But first off, the follow-up is that he has since said that he, sorry about the way he handled it. Could have been a nicer letter. But he with no apology for it. So my question is, in a way, doesn't he deserve to have privacy? People just barging in. People come into my office.
How do you... I thought that was your list, actually.
No.
That's not your list?
My door is open a lot.
It is.
And people come in and catch me in my brassiere constantly.
They're nice, by the way.
Raise your hand if you've seen Joy in her brassiere.
Don't raise your hand.
I wear a one-piece, and the
controllers actually all raising their hands right now.
But I wear a one-piece, like a bathing suit, so I don't think it's really that bad, frankly.
No.
Is it? No.
You look amazing, Joy.
Oh, shut up.
You do.
So anyway, so my question to the panel is, isn't there, like, a certain amount of privacy that somebody expects when he is getting changed or when he's having his hair done?
It sounds like this is all pre-show, because he's talking about the makeup room and the dressing room. And one thing I think that can be difficult is when you're trying to prepare for the show, there's still work you're doing, and because he's the boss, people are probably coming to him about other questions about the show and everything else. Yeah. You sometimes need to put your thoughts together. He's speaking for a living, and he's going to be going on set, so maybe his tone wasn't correct, but I do get drawing some boundaries about, I kind of just need to get in my space before I take the stage.
Right.
But I just wish there was one nice part of the letter. The whole letter's like, do not disturb. Do not disturb. If you think I'm talking about you, I am. I'm like, please. Just be like, you guys are all so great. I love working with you. By the way, Pizza Fridays. If you just buffered it with something nice, you'd be like, all right.
See, but that wouldn't be a real moment. I think what happened was, this happens to me sometimes. I have like a tantrum, like a rant I go on. And I've only seen it here.
You don't barge in.
Yeah, here. No. I have like a tantrum that happens, and then oftentimes what you do is you do that, and you sort of compose yourself, and then you write the more appropriate version, and you send it out. He sent out the real, honest version. I commend him for that, because you have to decide: do you want people's honest feelings? This is how he feels, or do you want some phony, doctored version of it? He could have made everybody feel good, or he could have done what you did, Pizza Fridays. He don't want to give them pizza on Fridays. He wants them to stay out of the dressing room.
Pizza Fridays are amazing.
I still stand by
I don't
Pizza
agree with
Fridays.
that. I don't
You
agree
brought
with
up
that.
boundaries, though, and I think this is a lesson to everybody.
My therapist actually did, but
Your therapist. Okay, give your therapist some credit.
What did she say? What did
No,
boundaries.
Boundaries.
What about them? What
Drawing emotional boundaries.
Oh, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Emotional,
Invisible.
physical, but this is a lesson to all of us to draw boundaries. I know I kind of have an open door policy, but there are moments too where I just need a moment of silence. But I think about it and I'm like, this is my fault because I didn't draw any necessary boundaries.
That's right.
And maybe this is just too little,
but
too
some
late.
people are just rude and they just barge in anyway, whether you have boundaries or not.
True. Maybe he tried that too. Maybe he tried the nice way, like talk soft about it, or obviously this seems like this was like the last straw. It was like, okay, I have to do it this way,
I know, but
or
don't
it's
you
not
see,
going to happen.
as his manager, if I were his manager, I would have said, you know what? This goes against your brand. You're going to lose people. You can't do that. Everything gets out. Don't put it in writing.
I mean, now I respect him for being honest. Like, if that's how you feel, like, I'm one of those people. It's like, if that's how you feel, tell me how you feel. If it hurts my feelings,
How to
whatever.
Win Friends and Influence People by Jedediah Bila. We'll be right back.
We're back at the View Carol's Daughter Beauty Bar, and Mom Danielle is getting a treatment with our almond milk sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner. Sulfate-free means that it's not going to strip her hair of any oils or dry it out. They smell fantastic. Do you love it?
Yes. We love it.
This is the last Mother's Day before she goes off to college, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, well, you enjoy and have a great time. You look stunning.
Thank you.
Mother's Day is Sunday, so happy Mother's Day to one and all. And yes, one mom that we read about just blogged that she's going Steve Harvey on her family this year because she wants them to just leave her alone that day.
Amen.
Does that sound like a plan to you girls? And you?
I think it does. I mean, it's nothing against my small child, but I did ask. I think I need it just from marriage and baby. Like, I need to get away and be Sarah again for like 48 hours. I told my husband I just want to leave.
You took 2 days. You made it into a weekend.
Well, weekends come in pairs. I'm not going to split it up and make it difficult.
So what will you do?
Well, I want to go away, like, within an hour of the city, go stay somewhere, eat whatever I want, watch whatever I want, and bring real books, and just, like, do whatever I want for a day like I used to. Like, I miss myself.
Yeah.
I
This is great.
me.
I didn't know this. I thought moms wanted you to be around.
That's what,
This is great.
that's what moms tell you. But if you really want us to be real, we just want to get away.
I'm early in the game,
want
so
to get
maybe
away.
that's where your mom
See,
wants
right?
you
We
around.
want to get away a little bit. I think it differs too if you stay at home or if you work too. I know I love my kids. I want to spend time with them. And they asked me what I wanted on Sunday. I said I just want to. I had a hard time telling them this to their face. I said, I just want some alone time. But my daughter had a funny idea because you know how you always get those obligatory handprints from the school or
They're
the
so
footprint?
cute.
She said, Mommy, we're going to give you a butt print this year.
They're definitely your children, Paula.
Not useful, but funny.
But you know, funny, last time she was here,
Wait,
she
what
said,
school is
I
this?
know.
Where?
Last time Paula was on, she said that her son was hitting a woman who looked like her in the behind. From the back.
Yeah.
These kids are obsessed with the hiney.
You know,
You do know where they came from, correct?
I know. All right, we have to.
By the way, what are you
giving
your mom?
I usually try to get my mom something practical, but then it comes around to bite me in the behind.
Not a butt print, by the way.
No. We got her an iPad, but then she'll take it everywhere, and she'll just walk up to people and then do the mom. Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
But here's the
It's
gift
still
you
on
can give
loud.
your mother.
Yeah.
The Netflix special that you're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us about that.
So yeah, May 23rd, my Netflix special, Homecoming King's coming out. It's like a stand-up storytelling.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. Yeah.
I understand that you. Well, we have a clip. Let's watch the clip.
Oh.
Good.
Our parents are ages 0 through 30. They're like, no girls, right? Then when you're 35, they're like, why can't you talk to girls? It's basically you're like, ah. I was born here. So I actually have the audacity of equality. Like, I'm like, no, I'm an honors gov. I have it right here. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. All men are created equal. It says it right here. I'm equal.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's kind of a
Quality.
It's a kind of a one-man show
It's a
mixed
one-man
with
show.
stand-up.
So it's like stand-up and storytelling all in one. You did a show like that, right?
I did. Same theater you did.
Yeah. We were theater mates.
It's kind of fun to do those, and then you forget about them. We'll be right back.
Is this man behind everything from Trump's victory to Comey's dismissal? He's been called the President Whisperer, a political trickster, and a Washington sleazeball. So what will the ladies call Roger Stone when he hits the table next? How hot can you stand it? Well, this May, things are on fire. Oh, yeah. Because everyone's coming and bringing their hot views.
You're not going to hear what we do anywhere else.
And think these political heavy hitters have nothing in common? Wrong! They're both hitting the table.
This is huge!
Plus, she's one of the hottest topics. After being sentenced to jail, Dance Mom star Abby Lee Miller speaks out on The View. Wow. Oh, yeah. This May is big. We got a billionaire co-hosting. Comedians bringing the laughs. And the biggest, most talked about celebs are coming to be heard. Told you things were hot.
Bam, drop the mic.
Because we're View strong all May long. It's The View on ABC.
New Netflix documentary, Get Me Roger Stone, which I hear is great, by the way. Please welcome the movie's director, Morgan Peckma, and the man himself, Roger Stone. So, Roger, okay. So you might have heard us talking this morning about the Comey event episode. It keeps changing. Every time we turn around, somebody else is, advised Trump to fire him. And you're on that list. According to our sources, they say that you urged Trump to fire Comey. Did you or did you not?
Well, Politico, the New York Times, and CNN all reported that. I am not the source of that story, nor would I comment on it.
Well, you're not in the CIA.
I have always, but I've always taken the position that private conversations between myself and the president, which are occasional, not every day, that they have to remain confidential. He has to be able to ask for advice or discuss politics and not find it on the front page.
It's interesting that you say that because he doesn't agree with that. He already spilled the beans on his conversation with Comey.
In this case, throughout the whole campaign, and since he's been president, I have declined to talk about conversations that I've had with him, and I'm not going to contradict the President of the United States here today. That said, he knows my views on Mr. Comey. I would have fired him 5 seconds after I took my hand off the Bible.
After he did all that damage to Hillary, that would have been the time to fire him.
Well, that was inappropriate.
But in the middle of an investigation on Russia connection, and then you fire him then? That's bad timing.
First of all, the Russian investigation, in all honesty, has produced nothing. It is a scandal without evidence. So far. But the House and Senate committees, while first they said, well, there's something here, then Senator Feinstein, Congressman Schiff say on April 2nd, well, we haven't seen any evidence yet.
But how long did it take them to get rid of Nixon and Watergate? 2 years, wasn't it?
18 months before it was a full boil. No. But in this case, in that case, there was both smoke and fire. We don't even have smoke here. We have nothing. I myself believe, based on the New York Times page 1 story of January 20th, that I was wiretapped, I was surveilled.
You believe the New York Times now?
Well, I like the New York Times, particularly today, whose review of his film I think is quite good.
I see.
But the point is, they've been through my email, they've been through my phone calls, they've been through my text messages. They'll find a lot of funky stuff, but I'll tell you what they won't find. any Russians. I didn't have any
Well, we'll
contact
see.
with any
Maybe not you, but we'll see everybody
We want
else.
to get back to the Russia topic in just a second, but we want to clear up what's going on with Comey, particularly a timeline, because President Trump is denying that he talked to you at all recently. He tweeted, and this is what he tweeted: "The Roger Stone report on CNN is false, fake news. Have not spoken to Roger in a long time. Had nothing to do with my decision." But a White House spokesman confirmed that it's been many months. But you just said on May 5th in a radio interview with the David Webb Show, which was actually May 5th, you said that you'd spoken to him less than a week ago. So wherein lies the truth there, and what was discussed if you did talk to him on the 5th?
Well, I'm not going to contradict the president, and I'm not going to say when I've spoken to him, but I would say this: I've spoken to him very recently.
Where did you discuss Comey at all?
I'm not going to ever get into the substance of those conversations, and I'll tell you why. If I do, there won't be any more of them.
I got it.
The president has to believe he can talk to you confidentially. I value my relationship with the president and his family. I was at the wake and funeral for both of his parents. I've been to 2 of his 3 weddings. He went to my wedding.
And yet he still threw you under the bus.
I don't think he threw me under the bus. But I do think that story was leaked by people who said, well, maybe the way you poisoned the option of firing Comey, Roger Stone, Richard Nixon, Saturday Night Massacre, this is a way to discredit the option. There were people inside the White House staff who were opposed to the firing of Comey.
Have you spoken to him since the Comey fire, regardless of what was said?
I've spoken to him very recently, but beyond that, I'm not going to characterize
Roger,
it.
your honest opinion, though, just asking you, do you think that Comey told Trump that he wasn't being investigated?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I think he did. I just don't think there's anything here. I mean,
so you think that Trump? Do you think it was right? It seems odd to me that Trump even asked this question: "Am I under investigation?" If he doesn't think there's a story there, if he doesn't think there's any meat to this, why is he talking about it? I want to hear him talk about jobs and healthcare. Why is he talking about this?
Well, first of all, I think that perhaps. I think he was trying to establish that he didn't fire him because he was under investigation, and therefore he didn't fire him for the purpose of cutting the investigation off, which, by the way, isn't going to happen. This investigation needs to go forward. Let me say this. I want to testify.
You do.
I don't need a subpoena. I'm not asking for immunity, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to wear. I have been in public session in both the House and the Senate. Senators Feinstein, Warner, Al Franken, who wasn't funny as a comedian, he's even less funny.
He's hilarious and he's brilliant. Stop it.
He's a friend of mine, actually.
You said you want to testify because you don't want Congress to mischaracterize what was said behind closed doors.
If you testify behind closed doors. So I want to testify in public so everybody can hear what I have to say. I'm anxious to do it. And I'm complying fully with their request for documents.
Why is Flynn asking for immunity? He must have something.
That is odd.
General Flynn. Oh, yeah, he's got
it does seem strange to me, but I'm not General Flynn's lawyer.
What about this idea of a special prosecutor? Because the way I feel about it, I want to know if Russia was involved in meddling in our election. I think Trump wants to know. His latest comments on her that he, too, wants this investigated. And I want to know if there was collusion. Because, obviously, if you have an American president that was colluding with Russia, that's a problem for all of us, regardless of whether it's a Democrat or a Republican. But can this be investigated fairly without a special prosecutor? We wanted a special prosecutor on the Hillary email scandal. Why is this any different?
I actually agree with you. In other words, I think Jeff Sessions, because of his partisanship, is the wrong person to pursue this, and I would welcome a special prosecutor. I think the president should pick the right woman to do that.
Well, you need to tell that to Mitch McConnell. You tell that to Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan. Let's talk about you now.
Yeah, Morgan, I want to talk to you. The timeliness is uncanny here. I want to talk about your new documentary, which is called Get Me Roger Stone. You already said the reviews have been great. You say that Stone, however, is #2 on the list of people most responsible for Trump becoming president besides Trump himself. How so?
That's absolutely true. The White House has tried to have distance between the president's relationship with Roger Stone, but as the film that Daniel DeMauro, Dylan Bank, and I made, Roger was literally the person who first suggested to Trump to run for the presidency back in 1987. In 1988, he tried to get him to run. In 2000, he was the head of his exploratory committee. In 2012, he tried to get him to run. And over the last 3 decades, Roger has been the closest political advisor to the president. And for the first year of the campaign in the 16 cycle, it was a 3-man operation run by Roger Stone. So the idea that anybody else, Kellyanne Conway, Steve Bannon, they were late additions to the campaign. It was Roger Stone, and then after him, Paul Manafort, who is also in our film, who bear the most responsibility for the Trump presidency.
So you are responsible for this debacle.
Actually, In all fairness, I've worked for 4 presidents. Nobody leads Donald Trump. He's not handled. He is not managed.
I get that.
He's not reading off of polls or focus groups to find out what to say to be popular. He speaks from the heart. He's not a polished political figure. No one runs Donald Trump. He runs himself.
But I happen to know that Nixon is really your favorite of all of them because you have a tattoo of him on your back.
He is.
Yes, he
You
does.
have a tattoo on your back?
Which I tried to get him to disrobe, but he won't do it.
I'll tell you what, Joy, come back to me to my place later and I'll show it to you.
Hold on. Let me give a big eye roll to that one. There's the picture.
When did you get that tattoo?
You know, Donald is going to be upset with you.
You need to
know
get
he's
Donald
a man's
on the right.
royalty. He's Don Corleone. Thanks to Roger Stone and Morgan Peckma. I like that name. Get Me Roger Stone is now streaming on Netflix. I'm going to watch it tonight. We'll be right back.
Lisa Price. Now, Lisa, you have some great news for our audience today.
Yes, I do. In honor of Mother's Day, the members of the audience are leaving with their very own Carol's Daughter gift bag.
You want to say don't for you and you and you.
It's a bag, but there are products in it.
Yeah. Well, that's a very nice thing. And we loved having you today here, Hassan. Good luck to you with your new special. And, of course, we want to wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. And just in time for Mother's Day, you can pick up a copy of How to Win Friends and Influence People by Jedediah Bila.
It's not real?
No.
My real book. I was like, I'm going to Amazon and going to Google
People are going to do that
now. We just made that up.
Yeah. Chapter 1, don't bother me. Don't bother me, ever. What a great book.
And don't give me plants, because I'll kill it and I want to eat your baby. I mean, so anyway.
What do you want for Mother's Day?
I would like plants. I love a plant.
You
for
like
Mother's
plants
Day.
for Mother's
I love
Day.
a plant. What are you getting your mother? I have 5 seconds.
I'm getting her a gift bag from you.